I recently got to work with a group of high school leadership students talking about this topic of discomfort, challenge, and adversity. What is it about these ingredients in life that are so potent for us developing as humans and as leaders? And I had the opportunity myself to think about the experiences of my life. What has it been about stretching myself so far outside of my comfort zone, whether it's pursuing an audacious goal or just living with purpose in areas of my life where I really want to show up at my best? What is it? Why is it so rewarding? And I've realized over the course of the last 10 years for me, developing this language around seeking the deep end has been so helpful and important. I've realized that every audacious pursuit, every time that I'm in life and there's adversity, there's challenge, there's uncertainty, there's the fear inside of me, the stories in my head, if I can connect that to who I am, the goals, the values, the passions, the intrinsic drivers that are important to me, I realize that this is the deep end of life. And this is where magic happens. I want you to think about just for a moment here, like, what are the areas in your life where you are pursuing a goal, or maybe you're showing up with lots of purpose? You really care about that area or that chapter of your life. You're driven intrinsically, right? You're driven by an inner passion, not but for the money, the rewards, what people are telling you, what they may think. You may fail. There's some risk, there's some uncertainty. You're willing to embrace that because the goal, the purpose, the passion, the inner fire is worth it. And finally, we know we're going to hit some walls. We know there's adversity. That's all part of the deep end. As I was thinking of this topic of uncertainty, risk, facing and almost building in deliberate discomfort in our lives, I realized that the deep end is so potent, it's so valuable because this is where we find flow, our greatest moments of performance. It's where we have the greatest impact as leaders. That's something that we all care about. We want to not only perform at our own best, but we want to have a positive impact on as many people around us as possible. For those of us who want to be the very best at what we do, maybe in our communities or maybe in the world, we have to develop mastery. This means we have to develop long periods of time under a meaningful amount of pressure, i.e., the deep end, to be able to develop those skills to be world class. And finally, the most important thing, the deep end is where we gain the most potential to grow. If I compare someone that's sitting on the sidelines or struggling to fight for their life in the deep end in pursuit of something they care about, 10 times out of 10, that person in the deep end is going to learn, grow, and move forward faster in their life because of that experience. I think about the deep end as this environment where I'm pushed to and many times beyond my limits, fighting to keep my head above water. But when I have a moment of sanity, right, when I take a deep breath and realize that I'm exactly where I need to be, and I wouldn't trade this moment of discomfort, this moment of challenge and adversity for anything else in the world. But it's important. We're all different, right? The deep end is going to look different for every single one of us. It might be starting a new job or career, becoming a first time parent, relocating to a new city, dealing with things that happen within our family and our close network of friends and communities, key relationships. Maybe it's signing up for something that you're purposefully going to push yourself for, an athletic goal, an initiative in your community. We all have a deep end. And embracing this discomfort and adversity and challenge in this context, doing it really meaningfully, intentionally, and strategically is so important to our growth. I believe that there's actually two things that happen anytime that we're able to find a deep end that's worth jumping into in life. We build our capacity as leaders. Our capacity is kind of another word for resilience, right? We're able to summon greater amounts of inner strength, of the ability to persevere. Leadership is about stepping up and stepping out and helping others along in the journey. We need a large internal reservoir of capacity to be able to do that. Every time we embrace discomfort, we build that a little bit more in service of others. The second thing is we gain confidence. I'm not talking about the bravado, ego, look at me out in the world confidence. I'm talking about the deep, I know myself and I am willing to stand up and step out for what I believe in service of supporting others, unwavering confidence that lives deep, deep within us. One thing that I mentioned was that, the best leaders that I see, the highest performing humans, are those who are constantly moving between two different states. They're either planning and getting ready for the next chapter of their life, or they're taking that moment of pause and they're reflecting, they're inquiring, they're excavating, they're peeling back the layers. asking, what did I learn? How did I grow? And how do I integrate that back into who I am so that when I go and I start getting ready to plan again, start getting ready to dream about the future, I've got an even better navigational roadmap, a stronger foundation to set out on. So, a couple of thoughts that I wanted to leave you with, just like I left this class with. When have you experienced the deep end in your life? How did you navigate it, right? How did you get through it? What were some of those ingredients that were important to you? Who was there to support you? This is your tribe, your inner circle, the people that know you better sometimes than you know yourself. And they're the ones that are going to put you back together when you fall apart, which you inevitably will if you're striving for something important. What did you learn about yourself? And maybe me, even more importantly, how has that experience in the deep end, whether it was just last week or it was 10 years ago, how has it shaped the person that you are proud to be today?